Hi everybody, it's December 28th, 2025. Um, I guess I could say that when life gives you puzzles in order to figure out your situation, it's easy to say to attack those puzzles with gusto because they're fun. You know, this is your life that you're dealing with, and the rewards are greater than just playing a video game or playing a puzzle and putting it together just to get a picture. With your life, the puzzles that you put in order, the puzzles that you solve, reap major benefits most of the time and conveniences. They upgrade your experience. So it's easy to tell somebody to look at the puzzles of their lives with avarice and to be encouraged and excited about it. But as you age, you notice that there's a toll of stress when you are trying to put things together. There's a toll of anxiety that starts to creep in sometimes, and you just get annoyed sometimes. And it's not that easy to attack these puzzles in your life in order to better your life, because you're older and you're just more tired of situations that always pose these problems for you, and these low ROIs in terms of your spiritual collections. So when I want to fix a puzzle or solve a puzzle in my life, even if I'm feeling tired, annoyed, or uninspired, what I do is I kind of take a perspective of levity of the situation. I might not be in a joking mood, I might not be playful, but I take if certain things are starting to overwhelm me, I take a significant percentage of my neediness or my attachment to the situation, and I just solve it in a lazy kind of spiritually lazy kind of way, and eventually it gets solved, and I will reap what benefits come from it or not. But that's how attacking the puzzles can be approached if you are not feeling up to it all the time. And so I start to think about situations where you can't unsee what you saw, and this happens in multiple ways. Sometimes you may, in terms of a problem that you may have encountered a problem and you just freaked out, or you just cowered away, or you just embarrassed yourself, and it surprised you, it took you off guard, and you can't unsee what you saw in that morbid moment. And so you ask yourself, how am I ever going to recover from this? I know I'm going to live my life beyond this, but how am I going to recover from this shame? How am I going to recover from this truth, or the supposed truth that I saw about myself? It's just burned into my memory. I can't unsee it. And when you're dealing with certain things like that, where you can't unsee who you were for a moment or for a span of time, it's not an easy task to understand. But it's simple. Is once you have saw that about yourself and you can't unsee it, you have to make up your mind to grow, to change it. And it may seem straightforward and cliche, but if you can't unsee what you saw about yourself, then that means it's time to grow and change it, and to develop into something that you are more proud of, and that you are more that is more acceptable for you to live as and to live with. And something else that you can't unsee in life that will change your perspective is maybe I hesitate to talk about relationships when I'm talking about problems, because even though relationships are vital and they uplift us and they give us sustenance for our soul, our life is determined by an individualistic manner most of the times. And that's just saying the business gets done by ourselves. But once you see maybe an elder or a friend or a lover act in such a way, and they said something to hurt you, or they did something to hurt you, or they surprised you with how uncouth or whatever they were, and you can't unsee that. How do you deal with people going forward? And the question is multi-pronged, because sometimes when you see something like that in a person, you just have to let them go. But you can't forget them. You still have memories with them sometimes. And then another prong would be you want to remedy it and move on with them, or you want to address what they did to you or what they didn't do for you. So when you can't unsee something in somebody else that did something to you, the first thing that is always great to do in this sort of situation is to think about a time when you did something similar to that person and somebody else saw you. And you could kind of break down the situation like a crime scene and see how you're feeling about this person, how they might have felt about you in this situation. And you might see that they stuck around, and then your relationship evolved and it healed over time. So that's the way to look at something if you can't unsee what somebody has done or not done for you. And if you can't unsee when I was learning about history and sociology and how stark they broke down how capitalism and racial structures and economic structures and world relations, when they broke it down so plainly, and you could see the system of oppression, and you can't unsee that, and you see it in your everyday life. For some people, how do you go on without? Because you can't unsee that from now on. And this is the most simple answer, is just to realize that God is above all. God supersedes the oppressive systems of this world. Yes, you may be oppressed. Yes, your freedoms may be restricted, but you have a certain freedom with God when you are a follower of God, when you are a believer of God, when you are a preacher of God. He supersedes the systems of oppression. He gives you rights that they can't take away. I'm not saying that you won't suffer and that you won't have hardships, but in the end, going with God, you step over many problems that the unruly rulers of this world put upon us. So I hope this helps. Thanks.